Hello everyone, it's B1 here and welcome back to another guide for New World. Today we're going to be talking about a skill that is notorious across the MMO genre for being a complete pain in the arse. That skill is of course jewel crafting, and a quick spoiler, it is no different in New World. But I have found a method that turns that sharp stabbing rectum pain into more of a moderate dull ache that is actually somewhat enjoyable. Let's get into it. This guide will be a bit different to the others we've done in this series in that as you level up and unlock higher tier methods, you'll focus on them, but you will still be doing the lower tier crafts on the side, as they always offer really good and cheap experience. You will be surprised to learn that the usual way of training jewel crafting is by crafting jewellery, but I want to go over an example of this to show how expensive it can be and to highlight why I did not do it this way. As always, I have to caveat prices will vary, so please update the calculations to reflect your server so you can see what sort of experience you'll get per gold coin spent. From what I can tell, prices are relative across the different servers, so this method would still be the best one for you, but it might be a bit cheaper or more expensive. Now let's look at the first tier of items, flawed amulets, which you can craft from level 1 and give 192 experience each. It takes 1 cut flawed gemstone, 1 silver chain, 1 silver setting, and 1 silver ingot. I've put the prices on screen, but in total it's around 6.5 gold per craft, or 29.5 experience per gold coin spent. You can slightly boost this as silver chains and trinkets and the like don't actually sell on my server, so I'm best off crafting these. These will give you an extra 27 experience, and the cost per ingot is already included in the calculation. This boosts the experience per gold coin spent up to 33.7. You're going to need to do this up to level 20, and you need 2,880 experience to get there. So this will take 15 amulets. Now, one of the reasons crafting jewelry like this is expensive is because of the cost to cut the gemstones. To cut a gemstone, you need to use elemental motes, and these go up each tier alongside the tier of jewelry you're trying to craft, up until you are using quintessence to cut the gemstone. These motes are really expensive, and just to cut a flawed gem it costs 2 of them, so there's a massive disconnect between the cost of cut flawed gems and the uncut variants. As an example, I was picking up uncut flawed gems for 0.1 each, whereas the cheapest cut versions were 1 gold if not more. Now, to take advantage of this, I put up buy orders across 2 different towns for all different uncut gemstones. As you can see, over a few days I was buying up hundreds of these gems, as people were clearly trying to get rid of them as they don't want the expense of cutting them themselves. With these uncut gemstones you can make gemstone dust at level 20. Weak gemstone dust gives 144 experience per craft and take 3 uncut gems. As I mentioned already, I was buying these at around 0.1 each, so 0.3 gold for 144 experience, or 480 experience per gold coin spent, over 14 times more cost effective than crafting the amulets. Let's look at this another way to account for the cost difference across servers, in that you could be buying these uncut gems for 1.1 gold each, and it would still be more cost effective than the amulets at 43.6 XP per gold. But as I've suggested multiple times in my guide, you need to make use of buy orders. Players are incredibly impatient and buy orders fill all the time. Every night before bed I ensure I have a full trading house of listings made up of buy orders. If you do your calculations, these are guaranteed money, or in this case, cheap experience. The next tier of gemstone dust unlocks at level 70, and you need 24,116 experience to get there, or 168 weak gemstone dust. Now you should always have buy orders on for all tiers of gemstones up until level 200, as each tier all offer great experience for low prices. At level 50 you also unlock the new tier of jewellery you can craft. I've put the prices on the screen, but for my server you can see at best, and including salvage value, you're getting around 80 experience per gold coin spent. So you want to be buying your uncut flawed gemstones at less than 0.6 to be more efficient. If the trading post was actually working right now, I could buy up hundreds of these right now for much less than that. So with buy orders, it's easily doable. So from level 70, you can make common gemstone dust, which gives 504 experience each. You need 3 standard gems, and this is where you can really see the disconnect between the cut and uncut gemstones, as the cost to cut is even more expensive now due to the increased tier of elemental moat needed. You should also note that diamonds, onyx, and emeralds will start to become more expensive now than the other gems, as they are the most in demand. I was buying these uncut gems for less than 0.5 each. My average was probably around 0.4, which gives a cost to craft of 1.2 gold, or 420 experience per gold spent. Even if you bought these gems for 2 gold each, it will still be more cost effective than making the tier 3 amulets, and those amulets are the most cost effective jewellery that you can make. You will need 127,512 experience to get to level 120, where you'll now be able to make strong gemstone dust. For my server, this is where I got the bulk of my experience, mainly from brilliant moonstone, jaspers and topaz. As to cut them, they require air and death essences, which both cost around 20 gold each. This is really expensive considering the only thing you get from it is a cut gemstone that is actually pretty useless. The market clearly represents this sentiment, as I was picking these up for less than 1 gold each. Let's say the average I paid was around 1 gold. That's a total cost to craft of 3 gold, or 300 XP per gold spent. Although the XP per gold wasn't as good as the others, it was still decent, and there was a huge supply of these in the trading house. You now essentially have all the methods that you want to use up until level 200. You do unlock powerful gemstone dust at 170, but these weren't buying anywhere near as well as the others. But just for reference, creating these gives you 1,500 experience each. So if you can buy these for between 1.8 and 2.5 gold, you're going to be getting a good return. But I've bought less than 100 of these so far in that price range. To get to 200, you'll need a further 1.38 million experience. So you've got lots of uncut gems to buy. But as you can see, this method is far cheaper than the alternatives. Thanks again everyone for tuning in. We've really enjoyed making these guides for you, and there's lots more to come. If you're finding the content helpful, please consider subscribing, as it really helps the channel. We're already working on a number of other guides, so let us know in the comments which one you want to see next. Thanks again, and good night.